You are now tuned in to the Khaotic Kulture Podcast.
It's the KKP on your mother flipping airways. Hear the name ringing through the halls and the stairways. You were listening to a pod that can segue. All the latest topics guaranteed to fill your headspace. It's a safe place to voice your opinion. Say what you feel just like you're a kid again. Kid the pro and friends black as obsidian. Chaotic culture, that's the world we living in. So what's the word?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Khaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. The Khaotic Culture Podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/Khaotic Culture Pod. Please be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for as low as $2. Once again, we appreciate your support. It will just help us keep the lights on and of course, create bonus content for you. If you've never been a part of this podcast, or have never listened, of course, this pod will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from finances, black business highlights, black ownership, black professionals, community content creators, home ownership, HBCU, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling, and especially black music. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 410, I am the host and the creator of the Khaotic Culture Pod. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, a.k.a. the Calculator Millennial, a.k.a. the Encore Presentation.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more?
AKA your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, all that good stuff. 843 is me. Baltimore's the place to be. Always got it, never toxic most days. And back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. With me today, of course, is one of the co-hosts of the Khaotic Culture Podcast, better known as the founder of Hip Mob, aka the Instigator, Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself right quick.
Hey, yo, it is I, Scuba Steve, aka Scholar's Dad or whatever, aka the Instigator, aka don't call me Ken because I could never be your X-Man. How y'all doing today?
Word, man. Hey, also, if it sounds like he's glitching a little bit, of course, Scuba Steve is driving, but of course, he is on the way back to the crib. So while we're recording this episode, of course, bro, please be safe. In the meantime, Sabby couldn't join us today. Of course, she is still working on some of her owners for her business. We love a hardworking black woman. So shout out to Sappy. Do not know where the law is. I guess he's trying to recover because I know that he was in Virginia visiting family over the holidays and looks like he made his way back to Florida. So I'm hoping that he's all good. Is getting plenty of rest. And if he decides to pop into the episode, well, great. But of course, we are here to talk about one of our favorite topics. But before we dive deep into that, got to ask about mental health. Scuba Steve, how's your mental health been?
My mental health been good, man. Like, the holidays, of course, Christmas and stuff like that. Got to spend a lot of time with family, but also spent money, like money was spent. So that was a little stressful, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all worth it when you see everybody opening up their presents and gifts and stuff like that. So, but other than that, man, I've just been good. I've been chilling at the house, binge watching TV shows, playing video games, doing anything but working. So my mental health been good.
Hey, that's good, man. For those who know, for me, for Christmas, I caught COVID. It was
Oh, dang.
crazy. Yeah, it sucked, bro. I caught it right at the job because I don't go outside, or at least I didn't go outside for real. So yeah, right at Christmas Eve, I started feeling my sinuses drain, and I'm just thinking like, oh, please don't let this be a sinus infection. Or worse and whatnot. And then, of course, I had to fly immediately after to go home. And I was in South Carolina, and I'm just sitting here like, yo, I feel like I got hit. You know, thankfully I'm vaccinated and whatnot, but it still was just like, okay, something ain't right. So the day after Christmas, obviously, I go to the doctor, and it's like, yeah, you got COVID. I'm like, man, ain't this a... Thankfully, again, you know, they put me on the antiviral to help clear up some of the stuff. So by the time that Monday rolled around, I was fine. You know, I had gotten over it. I kicked it, but it was still just like, dang, man, I get sick on my favorite holiday. It sucks. Like, I love Christmas. So yeah, I felt much better. And then, you know, I flew back home the day before New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, I went out to DC, hung out with Plus Ultra Entertainment. Shout out to them. Hope that they were doing well. I actually meant to hang out with them this weekend for a MagFest after party, but I was working so hard, I fell asleep. Like literally, I fell asleep at the beginning of the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers game, bro. I didn't even see the end of it, so I was just like,
Oh, that shit. The Bears came back on their ass too, man.
they did. Like, bro, I remember just waking up. I'm like, oh God, I fell asleep. And I don't normally like when I go to sleep, I can still hear like sounds and whatnot, but I didn't. It's like I literally just went into like a deep slumber until I was randomly like awoken by Prime, I guess, showing the Mr. Beast games. And I'm just like, let me go ahead and turn this off. And then I was like, I missed the whole fourth quarter, didn't I? I go back, I look on my phone, I said, "Oh, wow. Okay, the Bears came all the way back. God damn, I missed the fourth quarter." But
Yeah, I
it
know.
is what it is.
O and them had to be going crazy.
I know he was. I know he was stressed that entire game, and they came back and won. So I know he's happy as hell, man. Shout out to O. That all of the NFL games have actually been really, really good and really, really crazy and like literally down to the wire. While we are recording this, obviously the Chargers will be playing the Patriots. I will be rooting for the Chargers because I am not a Patriot. I can't stand the Patriots. So I'll just leave it at
Hate the
that.
Patriots. Hate the
I
Patriots.
hate the Patriots, man. If there's a team that I hate worse than the Patriots, it might be the Dallas Cowboys. But at this point in my life, the Dallas Cowboys is more of like hilarity than anything. Like I don't take them seriously, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And then there's the Cleveland Browns, but yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, so of course I hate the Browns. I don't think anything of the Bengals and the Ravens. While our greatest rival, I don't hate the Ravens organization unless they play us, but still, yeah, F the Patriots. I hope that they lose. But anyway, that's enough for football talk and mental health talk. We love talking about hip hop on this podcast, as you all well know. And one of the things that we decided to do this week was talk about another favorite topic of ours. Now, if you were around for Thanksgiving, you heard us discussing cover songs. But now I decided, well, let's go into the hip hop side of things, and that's not necessarily the hip hop side of things because there are plenty of other songs that relate to these kinds of tracks. But let's go into something that we're really passionate about. Let's go into diss tracks. So that will be this week's topic. It is yes, it is diss tracks, diss songs, and the like. Now, it'll kind of work the same way that the cover songs did. Of course, I will pose a question or a sentence, and we just have to, come up with what we think are, the tracks that relate most to this sentence. So hopefully, if you are listening, of course, you can relate, name some of your favorite diss tracks as well. And then for the clips that we post on YouTube and on IG and on TikTok, of course, let us know in the comments what some of your favorite diss tracks are, or you let us know, of course, what you think, which diss track relates to which question. So with that, let's just dive right into it, man. Let's not waste any more time. And I just want to pose the first question. What was the first diss track you ever heard?
Shit. The first diss track I ever heard, it would probably be the first one that I ever heard that I realized that it was a diss track versus the first one I think that I've ever heard is different. So I'm gonna go with the one that I first realized, which would probably be Ether. Would be the first one where I was like, "Oh, this is really a diss track."
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that. Well, we can talk about that one later because I think that's a different question. But yeah, the first one I ever heard, I'll say is Ether. Yeah.
Okay. I think that you pose an interesting question because it's like the first one that we realized was a diss track versus, the first one that we actually heard are kind of like two different questions. I'll say the same thing. The first track that I realized was a diss track was Ether. And then it's
It
crazy
was
because
direct.
what?
It was direct.
Yeah,
Very first
it was
Jay-Z
very
was
direct.
like, "Whoa."
And it's crazy because my brother had both the Blueprint and he had Stillmatic. So it's crazy because I heard Takeover before I heard Ether, but it didn't like register to me that this was a diss track. Then again, I was 10 and I was really like starting to really get deeper into actual rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
Because you know, when you're much younger, obviously you wouldn't, I guess, realize it. But when I heard this and then Nick actually started talking about it, I was like, oh, and so then I went back and of course heard Takeover, and then after that I heard the the Jay-Z response, and I more on that later. But yeah, I would say Ether is the first track that I realized, oh, this is a diss.
Yeah.
After discussing it with him. Now, the first one again that I probably ever heard was "Hit 'Em Up."
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm about to say.
yeah, that's the first one I ever heard because my brother had that greatest. He had Tupac that the greatest singles or it was the greatest hits album and whatnot, and "Hit 'Em Up" was on there. So I heard "Hit 'Em Up," but he tried to do his best not to play that around me because he knows how vulgar "Hit 'Em Up" was. But still, that's the first one that I can remember ever hearing because I'm like, I've heard "Hit 'Em Up" multiple times, but again, when you're younger, it doesn't register that hey, this is a diss. Literally
Yeah.
7 years old, that I wouldn't have been able to comprehend what that was until I got older, and it was just like, oh, wait a minute, okay, so yeah,
All I kept hearing was "Get money."
yeah,
That's all I kept hearing. As a kid, that's all I heard. I didn't really realize the lyrics. so,
right,
so I
right.
didn't know. Yeah.
Same, man. Same. That goes into the next question. Okay. So with that in mind, we've named the first song or the first diss that we have ever heard, or the first diss that we realized was a diss. Name a diss track you believe is underrated.
The most underrated one for me will be "Checkmate" by Jadakiss, the 50 Cent.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that's the most underrated one to me. It,
yeah.
it was nice and short, but it was straight to the point. Did a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rebuttal. It was like
It
a
wasn't.
there was like damn, like let me just leave this nigga alone. So
Yes.
yeah. So Checkmate by Jadakiss was, I think that's the most underrated in my opinion. Even though there's a lot of people that have heard it, and I mean the people that have heard it, if you know, you know. But I
Mhm.
don't think it's as popular as it should be.
It's really not, man, and unfortunately, of course, it's not on. Well, it's not on Spotify. I was able to find it on YouTube, obviously, because I hadn't heard it in such a long time, and I remember, I'm like, I remember why 50 didn't go back at Jada because he was ready for the smoke, bro.
Yeah, he just not on that level lyrically, and I
He's
don't
not.
think. Yeah, I don't even think Jadakiss was really even trying. Like he
He
just was
really
like,
wasn't, bro.
he just was like, I'm just let you know right now that dude, this is not what you want.
Right. He did. As you said, there was no response. He knew better. There's a lot of people that 50 went at, and Jada was like, hey, bro. Mm-mm. Speaking of that, more on that track later. For me, one of the most underrated diss tracks for me, I'm gonna say "Last Real Nigga Alive" by Nas, and I say that
Mm.
because it really wasn't like a super diss. It wasn't ether. All it was this nigga Nas explaining how him and Jay-Z started beefing. But at the very end, this man said, hey, listen, it's a shame, but this is why I went at all of you Rockefeller niggas and won. So now what? And it was just like, what can you really say, bro? Like that nigga put belt to ass with Ether. I mean, at least in my opinion, some people will say Takeover is better, but for me, it was like, yeah, he went at all of them dolo, and none of them said shit after that. Jay tried with one track, and then he did end up having a much better response later, which again, more on that later. But still, I think "Last Real Nigga Alive" is a very underrated diss track because it's like it's not it's not structured as, oh, I'm coming at your neck. It's more structured as, hey, this is the story, this is how it happened, and I'm sorry it had to happen like this, but this is why it happened, and this is how it had to happen. So, oh, Steve, you about to say something?
Oh shoot, I didn't know if I was glitching. I was like, oh shoot, did it glitch? No, yeah, like with that, I love that, like the bravado from it is like, nigga, I'll take all you niggas on. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
love when niggas doing 1v5 and shit like that. And they ain't fucking complaining about it. They just getting the shit done. And it is
Right.
what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I'm gonna throw another one in there as well. I'm gonna say "Kick in the Door" by Notorious B.I.G. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think that it doesn't. A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't really talk about it, but I really think that is very underrated, especially because if you remember, um, he did go at Nas a little bit, especially when it came to the King shit. And if everyone who knows that line that Kendrick said in TV Off, that was a direct quote from Biggie. Ain't no other king in this rap thing. They siblings nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. Like that is one line that really stuck with me. I'm just like, damn, no, this nigga was really on it like that. And Nas even said in one of those songs, I can't remember which song he said, but he said in one of his songs, "What you think? Who do you think Kick in the Door was for?" And it's like, damn, yeah, he he
Yeah.
was right. So
Yeah. Man, I feel like Big was ahead of his time. I would have loved to see him progress.
yeah.
See how, because lyrically, I was like, back then, I was like, lyrically, he just was on a different level to me than
Mhm.
everybody else at that time period. His styles and stuff like that, he was just different, bro. I would have loved to see him progress through the 2000s and see what we would
Man,
have.
for sure, for sure. It's a shame, his life got cut short, and we only got 2 albums worth of work. But yeah, I think that out of everybody during that era, Biggie really had the highest potential. And so, yeah, between that track and he also had Long Kiss Goodnight. But I think Kicking the Door was a better disc. And then of course,
I got a story to tell too, low key,
yeah, definitely low
to
key.
Anthony Mason.
Yep, yep. You right about that. And then I mean we can say who shot you, but there's still some history
Speculate.
behind that. It's not really underrated, but then it's like, is it really a diss? And then you're like, well, maybe it is, but it's there's still some debate with that. So I'll leave that one alone for now. Uh, what is a diss track that you believe is overrated?
Ooh, overrated diss track.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, damn, I got to think on that one because okay, one overrated diss track I would say is "Kill Shot" by Eminem.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting that one.
I think that I think he he dissed MGK, but I don't even really want to say it's a better diss track than the MGK one was like. I don't know. I think he should have went hard at MGK if that was the response. And I expected more out of Eminem because Eminem usually be wiping the floor with niggas. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like that one was a great diss track. So I'm gonna say "Kill Shot" by Eminem.
Okay. I have some thoughts on Kill Shot. I think it's a good diss track. Um Initially I would have said Rap Devil was better, but as time has progressed, I'll say that Rap Devil didn't really age all that well, and Kill Shot kind of like didn't move in my opinion. But I'm not going to disagree that it's not overrated, because I think a lot of people, especially like if you look on the comments on YouTube, they'll say, "Oh, he ended MGK's rap career. He made that man change genres and whatnot." And it's just kind of like, I think he could have came
Yeah,
harder,
he
you
could have
know.
came harder. I Every time I read the comments, I'll be like, "Damn, are we listening to the same song?" Um,
Right.
but I mean, that's just me. I've heard Eminem kill niggas worse, and I just
Oh
really
yeah. And
the
again,
way
more on
that
that later.
yeah the way that everybody is hyped that diss track up compared to his other disses, I just feel like it's a little overrated.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this because it's not a bad song, but it to me is a bad diss. But don't tell the Barbs this because they love this. I'm gonna say No Frauds was completely
It's
overrated.
garbage.
It's garbage, but I have to say overrated because a lot of them will try to hype it up like it's a good diss song. No, because we know Nicki Minaj has a terrible diss track, but
Also,
that's later down the line. For this one, I'm like, for it to be a response to what Remy Ma dropped on your head, it was absolutely weak, but yet the Barbs would not let it go because it made radio. And it's just
Yeah,
like, who cares? It's weak.
it's
Why are
terrible.
we hyping this up?
That shit is garbage. But I mean, I've never been like a big Nicki person anyway, so it
I
is what it is.
I would
But
say I loved Nicki up until Queen. When Queen dropped, that's when I started like, okay, all right. But I mean, because Pink Friday was dope. Roman Reloaded, trash. The Pink Print was great. And then Queen, I'm just like, okay, I like it, but and then after that, I just started realizing how terrible of a person she was. And this is like, okay, yeah, y'all got it.
I always thought she was kind of corny. I didn't. I'm not one that liked the voice changes. I guess her version, her alter ego, I guess Roman or whatever. I didn't really
Mhm.
like her doing that shit in the verses and stuff. I always thought that shit was kind of corny, but that's just
Mhm.
me. And then in her interview, she was super corny back then. So and it's
Uh,
funny. It's funny because I feel like she's the same person as she was in those interviews back then, but it's just now becoming corny now. It's kind of weird
yeah,
because I feel like she hadn't done anything different in her interview. She's always been corny like that to me.
for sure, for sure. I never really paid attention much to her interviews, but I started noticing a pattern. I'm like, if more than one person is saying the same thing about you, and you keep complaining, chances are you're the problem. But I'm gonna leave that at that. Anyway, I got another overrated diss track, and I hope the comment section don't kick my back in. Pause. But I think Back to Back is overrated.
I don't agree with that one just because I liked back to back.
Now
I
here's my reasoning. I like Back to Back. I just think that wasn't like. I don't think I've based on all the diss tracks that I heard. It wasn't really that scathing. It was more like I'm a Joan on you. I'm a clown you. And I seriously thought that Meek Mill had the opportunity to get him back because it's like, oh, this isn't a career-ending diss track. You can literally come back from this, if you play it smart. Meek Mill did not play it smart, and that unfortunately made Back to Back that much bigger. That's just my opinion, but I do think Back to Back is a really good diss, but I think that people overrate it as like one of the best ever. But maybe it's just because of the results and what ended up happening after is what made it even worse. So that's why I think that Back to Back is like a little overrated. And I'm not saying it's a bad diss track. I think that Back to Back again is really good. I just think it's a little overrated.
I think back to back is the reason why we got no frauds.
Ah,
Back to back getting all that radio play,
mm-hmm.
winning Grammys and shit. I think Nicki Minaj tried to build that formula when she did Remy Ma, and it just didn't work.
That's
Um,
a very good point.
I, I think that's why that happened. I really fucked with back to back. And I feel like he needed back to back because the uh charged up or whatever.
Charged up.
I thought that was a mid diss track.
That
So him
it
dropping
was.
back, yeah, him dropping back to back was needed
It
because I
was. It
feel
was
like,
needed.
yeah, I feel like Meek might have got that nigga. But Meek's diss track was trash too.
I
Well, I was
it
just about
was.
I was like, yeah, I was like, this could be a bad um, battle in general. And then back to
Mhm.
back came out, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I fucked with back to back.
Man, I had so much hope for me. That I had so much hope for me. I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta come harder. Like you gotta come hard because I knew that Back to Back was a great diss track, but it was like I know if Meek put all his focus, he can get this nigga. I mean, he a battle rapper, bro. Like he used to rap on the streets. Like I know this nigga. I know he was coming for. I know I had all the confidence in the world that Meek would have a great response, and the response we got really was just like, oh my god, this shit is so awful. Oh my god, bro, what were you doing, son? But it
Yeah.
is what
I
it
mean,
is.
but it's been to me, I feel like it's kind of proven that like you a battle rapper for a reason or whatever, but that shit
Hmm.
don't necessarily translate. Cause I mean we saw with Joey and Joey Badass and freaking
Ray Vaughn.
Daylight.
Oh,
Daylight.
Daylight. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel like Daylight came as hard as Joey did, and Daylight known for
Mhm.
being a battle rapper, and
That's true.
Joe, and Joey drugged that nigga through the streets. Is what it felt like. So, just because you a battle rapper don't mean it's gonna translate.
You right. You are right. I think that but at the end of the day, I think maybe it's because I knew that, you know, unlike Daylight, Meek can actually make a hit, or he could back then make a hit song. It's like there are people who can battle rap and they can make good hits and they can make great music. It's the same argument with Kendrick. Like we niggas knew that Kendrick used to battle rap and shit for real, for real. But for some reason, you know, some fans didn't think that he could make a great song. And I'm just like, have y'all niggas not listened to his music prior? Like this nigga is phenomenal at making music, and he proved our point. But nevertheless, I do want to go to the next question. What is your favorite old school diss track or tracks from the 80s or 90s?
No Vaseline.
Yep.
No Vaseline would probably be number one. We
Mhm.
already talked about Hit 'Em Up.
Yep.
I want to say I really enjoyed the Cannabis LL Cool J back and forth.
Yep. Yep.
I enjoyed that too. But yeah, No Vaseline by far is my favorite from the 90s.
For sure. For sure. I'm gonna go back to the 80s. The Bridge is Over. One. Like I gotta talk about I gotta talk about the Bronx Wars, man. The Bridge Wars, bro. The Boogie Down Productions with The Bridge is Over. We could talk about Roxanne's Revenge. Uh, that probably one of the best. Well, no, not the best. If I'm not mistaken, Roxanne's Revenge may have been one of the first diss tracks on Wax. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm
I,
wrong.
I think so.
Yeah, so I that is that's I'm gonna just leave that. Uh shit. What's another good LL diss before the back and forth with Cannabis? Jack the Ripper. Because I think a lot of people,
That's the
yeah,
one.
yeah, a lot of people did not take LL seriously. And that nigga was like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me like he showed them who he could be. And so it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, look, just because this nigga rap about, you know, finding love and shit, that don't mean that this nigga can't rap. So
Mhm.
that's I have to say that Jack the Ripper was one, and then I'm gonna get a little bit into the Cannabis and LL shit later because that's further down on my list for good reason because boy that back and forth was something that I really enjoyed. But
Yeah.
also if we're talking about the Bridge Wars, um there was one other song that I was thinking of. South Bronx. There we go. Another Boogie Down Productions, man. Like, first off, I just gotta say, but man, Boogie Down does not get enough credit for them as a group, man. Like, I will say this uh for forever that they just don't get enough credit. But that's just me.
All right. Speak on it. Because I
Yes,
about to
sir.
say, you putting me on something.
Hey man, listen, there's a reason why they call KRS-One a teacher, bro. Like he that man really said on a song. I'm not saying I'm number one. Ooh, sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like that
Hmm.
nigga was he was on some he is on some shit, man. But anyway, what else from the 90s? Obviously, No Vaseline. Like No Vaseline will always be like a top tier diss track for me.
Facts.
And we had already said Hit 'Em Up, already said Who Shot You. From the 90s, I know there's a lot more that I could think of, but um
Was was Common and Ice Cube the bitching you? Was that the 90s or
yes.
was that 2000? Did
No,
that
no,
hit 2000?
that was I want
That
to
hit
say
the
that was
90s?
90s.
Okay,
I,
yeah,
I,
that
I
was a fire one too.
yeah, that one was too. And again,
And he
more
went
on
at
that later.
everybody. He
Yeah,
went at everybody too. Nigga said that ain't a Mac 10, that nigga's a 22. I was like,
22.
yeah, he don't care about nothing either. Like people see Common little smile and shit, they don't know who he is.
No, not at all, bro. I know he surprised niggas with the bitching you, bro. And again, I got more on that later because that is, again, that's a song that's further down on my list. All right. Let's go to a diss track that you did not know was a diss track.
Party Up by DMX.
Oh,
Had no idea that he was dissing Corrupt for a very long time.
bruh.
And they made that whole into a household anthem. That shit was getting played in movies.
Yes.
like that shit was crazy. Like I couldn't imagine wanting to watch one of your favorite movies and then you hear your nigga getting dissed. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. For the longest time, I didn't know that that was a diss track either until I looked at. I'm like, oh, this nigga dissing Corrupt. Oh, I never would have known.
Right. Crazy.
That is, it's the same. It's really insane because "Party Up" literally was the anthem for the 2000s, and that song got so much club play and so much radio play. It's insane the amount of reach that song had, and we all know that like DMX was on top of the rap game for quite a while. So yeah, man, rest in peace to X, man. So
Facts.
here's mine. Jump by Crisscross.
Oh, really?
Did not know it was a diss track, bro.
To who?
Another Bad Creation. If you remember,
No idea.
ABC, aka Another Bad Creation, was the a group that was founded by Michael Bivins of New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe. And ABC, if you go back all the way to the 90s and whatnot, they had that song Aisha, and they were known for wearing their clothes inside out. But if you
Yeah.
hear like the first few lyrics of Jump by Crisscross, don't try to compare us to another bad little fad. That was a direct shot at them. And the other line, cause inside out, it's wiggity whack.
Yeah.
Yep. That song was a diss towards ABC, bro. And
Wow.
that blew my mind when I found that. And I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, man. I was blown away by that fact. It was just like, you know how much that song gets played like in 90s parties or even just in general, like how big that song was. And you mean to tell me that these niggas Crisscross came out the gate dissing niggas? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
And they was kids.
They was kids, bro. They were all kids.
And Jermaine the Preachers let it happen. Like fuck it.
Right. I'm just like, damn, son, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, here's another one that I did not know was a diss until a couple years ago. Honestly, no, not a couple, a few. But it's not even a rap song. It's an R&B song, bro. I Love Your Girl by The Dream.
Oh yeah. Talking about Lil Wayne. It was this Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, bro. I didn't know for the longest time. It flew over my head, and then one
Lollipop
day
was a diss too.
You said what?
Lollipop is a diss too.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But
they was dissing each other. That shit's crazy.
I literally went back. I'm like, oh wait, this nigga dissing Wayne.
Yeah, talk about Nivea.
You're right. It was crazy when I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, damn, bro, that shit flew over our heads when I was 17. Like I didn't think about that, but yeah.
I don't know if people know. Of course, I know because I'm a J. Cole fan, but we do know that Middle Child is a Kanye West diss, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I was about to say because
I knew it.
Yeah, I know some people don't know that it won't be because my little sneakers not selling the same. Like that, he's talking about Yeezys. Like he's literally talking about Kanye in that verse. I mean, in those couple of bars.
Yeah.
Like so that's a diss track that I don't think people know.
And I think that's one of the reasons why Kanye went back at him at that on that quote unquote like that verse that never got real radio play. But yes, Middle Child was a diss towards Kanye.
Yeah, because False Prophets was a Kanye diss.
Yeah,
or
that one too.
It was like a Kanye "I'm talking to you" moment. Like I don't even know if it necessarily was a diss, but those two songs are at Kanye, and then Kanye for no reason just decided he wanted to jump in to like that shit. And I feel like he did that because J. Cole apologized. I feel like if J. Cole was out there and really going, I don't think he would have did that. I think he did that because he felt like, oh, let me jump in here and get on that nigga.
So, track just for whatever reason.
I felt like everybody was jumping on J. Cole at that moment. They saw blood in the water, and then they
Mm-hmm.
knew like J. Cole can't come out there and diss nobody after what he just did.
Yep. Oh man.
Bad out
Uh
here for the Cole fans, man. Bad out here.
yeah, I know, man. Eventually I'm hoping that J. Cole will come with the fall off whenever that day may be. And put hopefully a battery will be putting this back again, but we'll see.
I just don't know what he can do.
Go out in a blaze of glory.
Because it's like the things that we love about him, you can't really rap about that no more. You
Yeah,
can't.
for sure.
I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I want to compete. Blah blah blah. It's bad out here for us, man. It's bad out
Yeah,
here.
I hear you, man.
But
I
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
stick beside him.
For sure. You got to, man. And hey, I'm same. I'm a Cole fan too. I'm not as big a Cole fan as I'm a Kendrick fan, as we've had on these conversations. But I'm a Cole fan too, and I definitely want the best for him. So, all right. Name a diss track that had you make the stank face like this shit is just too good. Like it gave you
Crash,
that ooh.
Crash Dummy by Joey Badass.
Mm.
That shit was
Yes.
fire. Not Like
Yeah.
Us. The very first time I heard Not Like Us was
Yes.
different. Like
Right.
those two, for sure. Like both of them, I was like, God damn. Like, cause they weren't. They are diss tracks, but those two
Mm-hmm.
songs are like victory laps. It's like
Yes.
we already know that I won. Let me put a little extra umph on there. It's like a victory lap party. Like they got beat my ass type song. That's what it felt
Mm-hmm.
like, and I felt like Crash Us were two of those songs that just was like, damn. Like just don't say nothing else. It was like just let it go.
Yeah, for
And
sure,
those
man.
are trying to think of another one that gave me the stank face. Oh, uh it's a freestyle. It's a Jadakiss freestyle where he's dissing Beanie Siegel.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what it's called, but he said the line like he was just going, and then that nigga said, "I don't even like beans, but I'm gonna eat." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "This, like this get bad out here." So that's one too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So for me, the first time I heard Euphoria, I was just like, ooh, like this shit done really
Yeah,
kicked into high gear now. That was me, like literally playing Euphoria when it dropped on that fateful weekend, because that was a week of that we will remember forever. And not only that
What's
song,
even crazier about it was I wasn't mad at push-ups. I thought push-ups was a good start, but
yeah, push-ups
Euphoria
was
was just like,
a good
man,
start.
it was a great start, but it was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Hey, look, and I will give Drake all the credit. I'm like, push-ups that really showed me. I'm like, oh yeah, he not backing down. All right, he ready for this. Okay, all right,
You
I
know
see
what?
you, Drake.
Before him suing and doing all this bullshit, I had so much respect for Drake because it was
Mm-hmm.
like, it don't matter. That nigga's getting out there and he going to war with it. Don't matter who it is. That nigga went
Yeah.
out there with Pusha T. He done took little jabs at Jay-Z. He done
Mm-hmm.
went out there with Common. He done went with Meek Mill. And then he was going with Kendrick. And then the whole push-ups, he was going at Kendrick, Rick Ross, Future, like all these niggas. And I was like,
Yeah,
bro, like at the end of the day, even though he lost that battle, I kind of was cool with it. I was all like, bro, like at least he went out there. You know what I'm saying? And he out there because that's what hip hop really is. Like
that's
you
what
gonna
it
battle,
is,
you gonna
man.
do that shit. And I was
Exactly,
actually
and
like, I was cool with it.
I low key felt the same way, man. Until, as you said, Drake went on that Karen run afterwards. This is like, okay, bro, really, really, like, come on, man. You could have. All you had to do was just take it on the chin, go back to the lab, do what you got to do, drop some, at least decent ass music again, and they won't forget. But it's just like, you're not losing fans at this point. But and then you started suing. This is like, all right, yeah, I'm off
Yep.
that train for real, man. Like but that's another story for another time. I think we've told it multiple times, especially on this podcast, how much I just that suing because you lost a rap battle, that made me lose a hell of a lot more respect for him, because I had so
Yeah.
much respect for the fact that he even try to go toe to toe with Kendrick. And
Yeah, I think that's more damaging to his career to me is him trying to sue than
yeah,
him losing the rap battle.
exactly. But anyway, all right. So I said Euphoria gave me this thank face. Uh, circling back to Common, the bitch in you. That had me like the first time
Yeah,
that I actually sat down and listened to that back and forth. I was just like, damn, like these niggas, they must have not. They really thought that this nigga Common was just, you know, not. He wasn't about that. But the Cube tried him off of a misunderstanding, and especially because for those who don't know, obviously Common made a song called "I Used to Love Her," and he was really talking about, how gangster rap pretty much kind of like diluted the rap genre. And Cube took offense to that. He thought that he was coming at him directly or indirectly. So they dropped West Side Slaughterhouse and directly dissed Common. And Common was like, well, y'all taking my shit out of context, but since you want to go there, and drop the bitch in you, and yeah, that shit. If you ever
it was
listen to it, you
fire
just like, this nigga Common does not give a fuck who Q
at all.
Mac 10 and Mac 10 on. Like he was ready for the niggas. So yeah, man, the bitch in you definitely made that. I will say not gave me a stank face, but made my jaw drop. The story of Adidon. Like I will never
That's
forget when Pusha dropped that. My mouth was literally like this. I was like,
yeah,
afterwards, I'm
lines were
like,
crossed.
oh yeah. I was like, oh shit, bruh. What the fuck just happened? And we started having all these questions, and to this day, it's like, all right, no matter what Drake says he may have had in the chamber, yeah, I'm like, nah, bro, just take your L and move on at that point.
What's crazy is once again, Duppy freestyle, he was sliding.
He was.
Like
He
and
slid on W freestyle.
it's just he
I
starts it and then yeah.
yeah, I love the W freestyle, man. I would be the first to say that. I was just like, because I heard infrared, I'm like, oh shit. And then I hear W right after. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, Drake ready for war. And
Yeah.
then a week later, story added on. I'm like, oh my God, yo, this shit about to get crazy. And then he backed off. He said that he had a whatever record that Drake had. Again,
It was supposed to
he
get
was
too
stopped from
personal and shit.
releasing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be too personal and all this
Uh,
other shit.
yeah, but apparently Pusha was still just like, nah, bring it. Like he was waiting. He wanted to see what Drake really had. I'm pretty sure that if Drake dropped that track, Pusha would not have stopped because we know Terrence Thornton is like, nah,
I
let me see
mean,
what you
shit,
got.
I still don't feel like he stopped. Like to this day,
Right.
it's still up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's gonna be up forever for between those two. I already know. And I think that's all that I had as far as that question. So let's go to name a diss track that was okay but could have landed better.
Ooh, that was okay, but could have landed better. I would say a diss track that was okay that could have landed better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just because it felt like they were piling on because this artist, I just didn't feel like this artist had what it took to even go at 50, which is Ja Rule. But when the 50 Eminem and Busta Rhymes joint came out, I was like, all right, bro. I was all like, it was fire, but I was like, bro, y'all really beating this nigga down.
You
Like
talking
for
about
no
Hail Mary
reason.
03?
Yeah, the Hail Mary 03. I was like, come on, bro.
Hey, that's funny that you mentioned that because I have that as one of my favorite troll songs. Like, and that's really a troll song, if anything like that. Like these niggas is really
Facts.
emulating Pac style and whatnot. And then this nigga Buster just comes on at the end. It's crazy how that plays out because Buster really was just minding his business, and Ja Rule said some off common shit about him using the same old hook. And Buster was like, yo, what the fuck? Why you come and bother me? He literally said that in the song, hey, Jeffrey, what the fuck you come and bother me for? And it's like, all
Facts.
right. And eventually they squashed it. But yeah, that whole the 50 Cent and Eminem versus Ja Rule, because Eminem ended up getting dragged into that, and I got more on that later. That whole thing was, yes, but I will say that Hail Mary '03, he definitely piled on. All right, so now we got your laptop up.
Yo, yeah.
Yep. All right, cool.
Oh, shoot, got my Biz Marquee shirt on.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, that one I feel like could have landed well. Another diss track that I thought was good but could have landed well better too. Say What You Say. Dr. Dre dissing Jermaine Dupri.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought that one could have landed better too. Because it felt like I feel like that should have been a Jermaine Dupri, Dr. Dre beef. Putting Eminem on that song is like you run into a bodyguard type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me and my niggas about to beat you up. Like, nah, bro. Like, whatever. And then at the end, you get Timbaland, a little 3-second thing of nigga, next time you see that nigga, tell that nigga I said suck my dick. And I was like, come on, bro. I was like, nigga, who beef is this? Yeah, like so. I felt like that one could have landed better. Trying to think of another diss that could have landed better. One, I feel like Eminem going at Mariah Carey could have been better.
Which
like,
one?
Why are you dissing Mariah Carey in a sense, regardless of if whatever is going on, like between them? Because Obsessed, in my opinion, like shocked the world too, because it was like she made a hit out of a diss song. But I don't think he should have been dissing Mariah Carey. I mean, even if it is true that him and her had a relationship and she lying about it, making him look crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
Okay.
like you're dissing Mariah Carey.
And the reason I asked which one, I was like, he's got a couple where he's dissing Mariah, but in this case, I think you're talking about The Warning.
The Warning, yeah. Because he's talking about the footage and stuff. I'm like,
yeah. It for me, I think that the Warning was good, but it was just like, okay, it's kind of cringe on top of that. Now that I'm older, I used to love The Warning when I was younger. And I thought that was a criminally underrated diss track, but at the same time, now looking at that, I'm older. I'm like, you know what? I get like Eminem has no reason to lie, but at the same time, like when you expose yourself and expose an intimate relationship the way that he did on The Warning, it was just kind of like, okay,
yeah,
I see where this is going on. I see why Obsessed ended up being like obviously the bigger hit and whatnot. But I won't take that away that The Warning was, could have been potentially damaging if you said that. I think Superman is a better diss track than The Warning.
Yeah, that shit is fire.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. I mean, I remember that, but I forgot in a sense that that's a diss track.
Yes. I love Superman. I think that was a better I'll say that's a diss track against Mariah that aged better than The Warning did, but that's just my opinion. For me, we had already mentioned the song Rap Devil by MGK. I think that it was good, but it could have landed better. And it's the same thing with Kill Shot. Good, but could have landed better. I think that here's a very this might be a hot take, but Real Motherfucking G's by Eazy-E, I think was good, but it doesn't like strike me as, oh, I'm gonna kill Dre and Snoop. I think It's On, which is the less popular song. I think It's On is better, but Real Motherfucking G's, while it's a good song, I don't think it holds up against Fuck With Dre. That's just me personally. I think that it could have landed better. And granted, we all know that Eazy-E really wasn't like a top tier writer. He had people writing for him and shit, but still, I think that he could have landed better jabs or better, punches than he did in Real Motherfucking G's. But that, again, he didn't have the machine behind him at that time. So there's that. Okay. Hopefully I don't get, cussed out in the comments with that, because I still like Real Motherfucking G's. I just don't think it's the strongest diss that he had. But I'm trying to think what's another one that could have landed better. I'm gonna just say this. Any diss song that Joe Budden had against Drake, I think the disses were great. It was just right message, wrong messenger.
Yeah.
Just because of who Joe Budden is. It's like, okay, this nigga's making valid points, but nobody took it seriously because it's Joe Budden.
It's Joe Budden, yeah.
So that was the problem with that. But obviously you get someone who can hang in the same weight class as far as popularity and as far as making history within the hip hop game. You get Kendrick on board, then it's just like, okay, yeah, now we're fighting in the same weight class. But unfortunately, we know that Joe Budden is forever clowned for being a quote unquote one hit wonder, even though this nigga could really, really rap and has some really good, really good tapes and some really good CDs. But again, nobody took him seriously. So,
yeah.
All right. Name a diss track that aged beautifully.
Euphoria. He kind of told him, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like leave me alone. Let this be a friendly fade. Don't take it that way. And of course, like to me, I feel like the other songs are pre-recorded. I don't feel like they were recorded the next day and stuff like that. But also, what I'm saying? So those were coming out. What I'm saying? If Drake decided, because he knew Drake was gonna do some stupid shit. But yeah, like Euphoria aged really well. He said, I know which angles you're gonna take, which once again, I feel like those other disses were pre-recorded. He knew what Drake was gonna do, and Drake did exactly what he said. And like he was saying, you're gonna make up different stuff because you heard Mr. Morale. Like everything that he said was pretty much like it aged really, really well. Another diss track that I feel like aged well, I feel like False Prophets by J. Cole aged pretty well because Kanye West still needs help. So I feel like that's one that aged well. One that I feel aged well and people still talk about it. I think this is one of the diss tracks that was one of the more surprising ones because they were dissing each other on the same song. Ludacris and T.I. on Young Buck. Stomp.
Stomp.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like that aged really well. I think it was one of them things where you still kind of want to know how that should have turned out because I still don't feel like we got a real battle other than those two verses. But yeah, I feel like that aged well as well.
For sure. For me, Exodus 23-1, that aged extremely well. Push came with the entire heat on Young Money and how their contract situation was set up. And later on down the line, we saw, Lil Wayne and his battle with Birdman. It's just like, damn, Exodus 23-1, here you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like extremely well. That nigga knew. And obviously, it led to the battle between, Pusha and Drake and so on and so forth. But if niggas could see the future, or if niggas could have had hindsight, this is like, damn, Exodus 23-1. He was going at them niggas' neck, but damn, did that shit age perfectly. Another one, Sheether by Remy Ma.
Yeah.
When I say aged beautifully, because obviously we talked about how Nicki was as a person and how you saw her as corny, and then I saw her as being a terrible person. But just the things that Remy Ma said throughout that entire diss track, it's just like, damn, now you look at Nicki Minaj now in 2026 and you're just like, shit, damn, Remy Ma, like you was on something. You was absolutely on something. And I mean, you can even say that Lil' Kim's Black Friday was the same shit. For real. And I know, again, if I got any barbers listening, I'm sorry, but look, your queen is cooked. I'm just gonna say that. She cooked. But that's just me. Those are some of the songs that really, really aged well. You've already said Euphoria, that aged beautifully. And I almost forgot about Stomp, but yes, that I really wanted to know what happened in that battle for real. But they cut it off before
they could really get to where that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would say a lot of because I know like Jay-Z has had a lot of like, it don't matter who it is, he taking shots at people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say something about him, Jay-Z is gonna address it. And I like that. That's the reason why I was cool with Drake going at everybody, because even though he lost, it was like, nigga, I don't care. I'm like, if you say something about me, I'm going to address it. Same with Jay-Z. When Jay-Z called, Drake said that Jay-Z's too artsy. And immediately Jay-Z was like, sorry, Miss Drizzy, for talking about shit that I really got. You know what I'm saying? And then on Watch What You Say on the T.I. joint, kind of he taking shots at Lil Wayne and Baby. When, you know what I'm saying, he said, I'll replace you like I'm replacing your father or something like that. Like Jay went at him. Jay-Z. I'm just going on a Jay-Z joint. On the end of Thank You, the third verse of Thank You, which is to Jim Jones. Niggas thought they was balling, they put a brick up instead. And then he said that whole third verse is nasty work. He said something about like, not only did they put up a brick, they put a building, and when that building fell, he said it's like they went into the building and held, because they heard second half smoke kills. Niggas thought they was ill, found out they was ill. And it's like you just knew what I wanted you to feel. I was like, yo, that nigga is destroying Jim Jones on that shit. Like, but yeah, Jay, and then the Phase on Love joint that he said, the phase I'm on, love, I wouldn't believe it either. Like he takes shots at everybody that say something to him. And exactly. I'm kind of waiting on. I mean, we don't know if he ever gonna get in the booth again, but if he do, I'm pretty sure he's gonna let Nicki Minaj have a lot of bars.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like if he gives her a lot of bars, great, or if he decides to just let her rant in her own corner, I wouldn't be surprised with either direction that he takes, because it's like, you really don't have to respond to her, Jay. But I mean, if you do, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you don't, I also wouldn't be surprised, because it's just like, why would you pay attention to that?
I mean, that nigga, they never he ain't let Phase on Love slide. I don't think
you're right.
I don't think he let Nicki Minaj slide.
he probably not. But I mean, I would be surprised if he did or didn't. I would not be surprised either way. Now, speaking of some other shit, speaking of Jim Jones, you just reminded me, because Chains and Whips, the first verse,
Pusha T,
Pusha T aiming at Jim Jones. That just reminded me, like, yeah, he had some shots for Jim Jones too, and some of them lyrics, they definitely aged beautifully, because like when you look at what Jim Jones in his past, you just kind of like, well, damn, son.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Pusha was on to something.
Yeah.
Like this man said, jealousy turned into obsession. Reality TV's mud wrestling. Some side chicks I know better than Beware My Name. There's delicate. You know, I know where you're delicate. Curse you to pieces. I'll hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it. Like this, Push was ready. he wanted Jim Jones to jump.
And then Jim Jones, this kind of wasn't terrible. The little freestyle thing, which in my opinion, I've never enjoyed most of Jim Jones' rap, but he sounded good on that. Somebody wrote that for him. He didn't write that.
Yeah, for sure. I've never been like a big Jim Jones fan myself, outside of like, even with Ballin', I've just never been a fan of his, I guess, his cadence. I think that's really what it is. It's just like the way that he raps. I've just been kind of like, I'm not the biggest Jim Jones fan, but whatever. Yeah, when it comes to Dipset, everybody knows Jules. Jules was my nigga.
Jules was the one.
Yeah, Jules was my nigga. But anyway, moving on. Name a diss track that is aged terribly.
Drop.
Yeah.
Nigga was begging that nigga to drop. I think that aged terribly. I think might delete this later. What is it?
You talking about 7 Minute Drill?
7 Minute Drill. And what's crazy, I listen to 7 Minute Drill. It's not a terrible thing. It's just a warm up. But it doesn't age well because you deleted it. Yeah, so that's not good. I'm trying to think of other things that didn't age well. I feel like that the Game recently, when he dissed Rick Ross just because he wanted to be in the mix, that didn't age well.
Not at all.
It just looked like you starving for attention, you thirsty. Then you don't get invited to the pop out. And it's like, and then he got to make an explanation. Oh, I didn't really want to be at the party. No, yes, you did.
Yeah.
All of California is there, nigga. You feel like you're the best person to come out of California. You would like to have been there, but you also wasn't on the Super Bowl either. And this is just because you keep burning bridges with people, and all you got to do is just sit there and shut up. You're just doing too much. But yeah, I don't think that aged well. Which also, I didn't really like Rick Ross's diss on Drake either. Like, I honestly and truthfully, I was like, let Kendrick and Drake go at it. Like everybody else jumping in there trying to get their love in.
They look in.
Kind of whack. You say not age well. I'm gonna just say stuff that was bad. Quavo dissing Chris Brown. That was a bad diss track.
No, Chris Brown spun the block on that nigga.
It was bad.
It was terrible. I'm just like, damn, you let Chris Brown take you out, Quavo?
Bro, that shit
crazy.
I'm trying to think of other diss tracks, but like these are just the ones that I just think is ash pretty much. Yeah, Quavo going at Chris Brown was whack as fuck. Who else? The Jim Jones response to Ballin', because Jay-Z did a freestyle over Ballin' to Jim Jones. Then Jim Jones did a diss to Jay-Z on Ballin', and that shit was not good. I didn't really like the back and forth between 50 Cent and Cameron, Curtis, and I didn't really like that either.
Yeah.
They both was kind of ass too.
For sure. As far as like aged terribly, because I have a whole list of songs that I think are just ass. But as far as aged terribly, I'm gonna say this. One, going back to Jadakiss, Piggyback by 50 Cent, to me, that didn't age well because of Checkmate. So it's like, all right, yep, okay, there's that. Super Ugly by Jay-Z, real disrespectful, but it was just like, hey, bro, the whole, it probably would have been better if he just didn't have the line about Carmen and leaving condoms on the baby seat. That's just like, all right, bro, now you really just, that's in very poor taste at that point. So that has not aged well for me at all in any sense or fashion. Like, even when I go back and listen to the entire battle, I'm just like, I still just can't get over the fact that Super Ugly it wasn't a bad diss. It just was like, it's just in such poor taste for that time frame. So there's that. As you've already said, drop. Like, man, all of Drake's songs unfortunately have aged terribly now that this battle is over. But
especially with them suing.
Yeah, but I've got one that ended up on one song in particular in that back and forth that ended up on my next question. But anyway, there's that. I'm trying to think what else. There was another song that I had that just aged poorly for me, and I can't quite put my finger on it. If I come back to it, I will. But yeah, those are just some of the songs that for me just didn't age well. I was just like, all right, bro. Okay, yeah, and I've already said the Warning by Eminem. That, when I was younger, I used to really love it, but now I'm just like, it did not age well. So
didn't age well, yeah.
So there's that. So that, I guess that leads to this. Name a diss track you thought was absolutely terrible and should have never been recorded.
The Bow Wow diss on Soulja Boy. And he was trying to like make it sound cool. Trying to make it sound like no Vaseline. This is what they think about you. Doing all that shit at the beginning. And then what's funny is Soulja Boy dissed him back, and it was just so hilarious. Fuck Bow Wow.
Fuck Bow Wow. I'm like, yo.
I was like, bro, he's getting his point across. He's winning the battle somehow.
Right.
Yeah, that shit was bad.
Man, you just unlocked the memory, because I completely forgot about that battle. Yeah, that was terrible.
Here's what they think about you. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Shit was bad. Who else has some shit? The Quavo disc should have never released.
Yep.
Somebody gotta like be in the producer studio and be like, nah, man, don't do it. Don't do it. That one. Any diss track where they mentioned the word Haley, the name Haley, those didn't turn out very well either. Oh, Fat Joe's diss on 50 Cent was awful too.
It was
That
terrible.
was a very bad diss track. He had no point, no choice but to piece it up.
Yeah.
Like, you're not Big Pun, brother.
He's not.
That shit was bad. Trying to think of some other very bad. The AZ Chike diss on Joey Badass.
Oh yeah,
very
that wasn't good.
And then it turned into the one line that we get from Joey. Trying to think. I think those are some of the main ones that just should have never been dropped at all.
Yep. All right. Bigfoot
was ass. Yeah.
Should have never been dropped. Like, Nikki, what the fuck were you thinking? She wasn't. She was off that booger sugar, but still, no, absolutely the fuck not. That was one of the worst diss tracks I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm just like, damn, yo. You get maybe a bar and a half from Megan, and then you dedicate this whole song to Megan, and you like, for one, I don't know. And then again, it was done in poor taste because you talk about that girl's mom who's passed. It's just like, oh yeah, Nikki, you need to stop. Just stop, please. Ghoulish by Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne
is not a battle rapper, and
he's not.
To all the people that was like, Kendrick better leave Lil Wayne alone and all this other shit, I was like, bro, that's gonna be easier and worse than Drake. You know how much ammunition you got on Lil Wayne? Yes. I was like, this is gonna be easier to kill this nigga, and it's gonna be worse because all of the I'm a black man, get away from me with the police not loving us and all this other stuff. All the fucking locks, you got like 3 locks in your head. You're drugged out, like all this other stuff. And you're saying all of this before you say the main line, which is you kiss baby in the mouth. Like that would have been awful. Like Kendrick would have did that nigga really, really bad.
He would have been bad.
And Lil Wayne has dissed people before and they've been ass.
But yeah, Ghoulish was absolutely terrible. I will never get over that first line. Fuck Pusha D and anybody who love him, his head up his ass, I'm gonna have to headbutt him. I literally sat there was like, no, this nigga Lil Wayne did not just say that.
He just likes to rhyme words.
Exactly.
Fuck 2 quarters, all about $1. Bitch, I put syrup in that vitamin one. I was like, what is that?
I don't know, man. But Lil Wayne, nah, that it should have never been recorded, man. For that to be the response to Exodus 23:1, yeah, nah, that should have never been put on wax. And again, goes back to Exodus 23:1 aging beautifully. But anyway,
MC Hammer better run.
Oh,
like it wasn't just ass because of the bars. Like the quality of it was just like he produced that shit himself in the bathroom or something. Like,
yeah,
it's really, really bad. And Jay-Z didn't even respond to that.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit was bad.
Whatever diss Melly Mel had towards Eminem, yeah, that shouldn't have been released either. That.
Yeah. And you pull your skirt up by Benzino was ass too.
Yeah, oh yes, it was. Yes, it was. More on that response later because yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But boy, Drake's Heart Part 6.
Heart Part 6 is
ass. Trash juice.
He just dropped that because he felt like Kendrick was dropping too fast and he just wanted to put something out there. But I'm like, nigga, if you're gonna wave the white flag, just don't respond. Like,
exactly.
Because it's also like you waved the white flag in that diss song. Which is ass.
I don't even want to diss you anymore. I'm just like, the nigga, why'd you drop the fucking song? That was my whole question the entire time. I was like, nigga, why did you drop the song if you said you don't want to diss him no more? You know what? Whatever, bro. But yeah, any diss track that Nick Cannon dropped towards Eminem, ass, all of them, all of them, bro.
Like, bro, stop.
What are you doing, bro? Stop, please. You are not. You cannot rap to start, but oh man, it is just. It's hilarious now thinking back on it. It is like, bro, why are we doing this? Why?
Let it go, bro. Like, the 50 Cent on the Breakfast Club, he's like, you suck, bro.
Yeah.
Just let it go, bro.
Let it go, man. Let it go. Oh, it was so terrible. Man, there was one other. You already said the Benzino joint, so I'm not even gonna mention that because yes, that was already ass. I'm trying to think, was there any other like terrible?
I'm looking at a list and I just remembered this one. Nicki Minaj, Stupid Hoe. That shit was
Yeah, I hate that shit too.
Oh,
I cannot for the life of me, I cannot believe that girls actually loved that song. I was like, song is ass.
Well, that shit was ass as fuck.
Terrible.
Stupid Hoes. Bro.
You a stupid hoe.
Really? Young Money just was bad at dissing.
They were, bro. They're terrible.
As a unit. Like, they're just bad. Like, and like I said, Drake, he just had bad timing on his disses are good.
Right.
You're just battling the wrong people.
Right.
But it's like everybody else, like Wayne is awful with his dissing.
Yeah, bro.
I think Nicki Minaj actually is better than Wayne at dissing, which is saying a lot. But yeah, that shit is, as a unit, they not good.
It's not. I've already said, well, I've mentioned it, but Wanna Know was the biggest disappointment for me, like, because I had so much hope for Meek Mill and I knew that this man had so much potential, and then he drops that and it was just like, nigga, what?
Nah, bro.
Why
are you talking about a rollie?
Right.
Why are you talking about a rollie on your wrist?
Bro. Is for the life of me, I could not understand why he would do that. But anyway, yeah, that was trash. I've already said all of it.
About this one. The J Clone.
By Cannabis.
Yeah, J Cole was talking about how much he loved cannabis and all this other stuff, and somehow he misconstrued that.
Right.
And he dissed J Cole, and it was like, what are you doing, bro? like I don't understand how that happened. But it did somehow. And then it wasn't good. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at a list too. So I already said the kickback joint. That's Melly Mel. So yeah, I'll skip over that. I think that's all that I can think of. That's all that I've heard anyway, that I think are some of the worst, diss tracks that have never been put on wax.
Right.
All right. So with that, name a diss track you thought was good but had some questionable lines in it.
Questionable lines as what?
I guess questionable lines, like there were some bars in there that made you be like, did you really need to put that in there?
Okay. Well then, if that's the case, the Jay-Z joint talking about the condom on the damn.
Oh yeah, super ugly.
Super ugly.
Yep.
I was all like, yeah, that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And are we saying like they shouldn't have been in there because they're not cool, or are we saying it because it's a whack line?
Either or. It's like the line is not cool, or it could be like, that's kind of whack, or it could be like
just too disrespectful.
Yeah, either too disrespectful or even just too like too confusing.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ones that I felt like were disrespectful and stuff like that, bringing up Kendrick's wife, talking about, I heard one of them kids is day free.
Family Matters. Yep, that's literally on my list.
I was like, bro, I don't understand. And it's just like, why? How? And I think Drake felt like, for Family Matters, I feel like Drake felt like, okay, Story of Adidon was a hit because of the drama and that you get the mess, the tea that you got. So I feel like Drake wanted to use tea in this Kendrick beef. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't go well.
It didn't land.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't land. Trying to use tea, I think that shit is always kind of whack. Like, nigga, just rap. The Rayvon joint where he's talking about Diddy and
okay, not whole era, but the other one,
the 50 Cent joint. I can't remember. He's kind of like, you niggas got matching haircuts. That shit was hilarious, but he just drug it.
GoldenEye, there we go.
GoldenEye. He just drug it for so long. It was like, all right, bro, like you keep bringing up the Diddy stuff. Like he was signing a Bad Boy. What you want him to do? You know what I'm saying? You keep bringing it up, and he did it for 3 verses, and I was like, all right, bro. The first verse was cool, and it was hilarious, but now it's like, all right, you dragging it. So for that one, I kind of just was like, yeah, whatever. And honestly and truthfully, back on Joey's side too, like you keep bringing up Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of got annoying. You know what I'm saying, to me too, because I'm like, yeah, you bodying everybody else, and you keep saying you want Kendrick, but it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the reason? Honestly and truthfully, and so that kind of became a thing to me.
For sure. Still one of the greatest diss tracks ever, but this line, you know, had me questioning a few things. Second Round Knockout by Cannabis. And y'all know which line I'm talking about.
Give it to him.
Hold on, because I gotta read this, you know, so that way people know which line I'm referring to. If I can,
I can do one too. Joyner Lucas, when he was dissing Tory, and he was like, we were running the train. Me and Trippie Redd was running the train on your girl. And then Tory Lanez in the next song was like, nigga talking about running the train with the nigga that got pedophile cases. I was like, God damn it. I was like, God damn it, Joey. Joyner. I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah. So that where is that line? Because like I wanted to like quote us that way. Okay, yeah. Well, let me tell you something. You might got more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat a nigga's ass like me. That is just like, hey, come on, Cannabis. Whoa. Hey, yo, bro. Like,
even though this is like off topic, it's not a diss, but you look so good, I suck your daddy's dick is crazy.
Oh yeah, that Biggie line, bro.
That shit is
it's like, I know he was quoting Richard Pryor, but it's still just like, bro, good. Nah. Big has some very questionable lines in a lot of his songs. Because some of them lines was talking about like date rape, and this is like, bro, what are you doing? You gotta chill.
Yeah,
you got to chill.
Same with Rick Ross. Molly all in her drink.
Her champagne, she didn't know like. And off topic off this, I do like the way that Schoolboy Q flipped that line on the Black Hippie remix. Molly in her drink, but she asked me to.
Yeah. Because nigga, you wild.
Right.
You wild.
Anyway, but yeah, I said Second Round Knockout. Of course, I said Family Matters. Had some very questionable lines on there. Those are the main ones that come to mind when I think about those kind of songs. All right, so here's the next question. Name a response diss track that wasn't the most popular response, but was still a good response.
The Beanie Siegel diss to Jadakiss. That was a good battle back and forth. His diss is a freestyle on Hot 97, and he said something like, "I'm a sun kiss like a can of soda." He was going in, like they just really was going back and forth, and I really fucked with it. And then like we said, Checkmate wasn't popular. I liked 300 Bars and Running.
Yes.
Back when the game wasn't a cornball. Yeah, I liked 300 Bars and Running as well. That was a good response to him and 50 Cent.
Yep.
Going back and forth. I'm trying to think what else is a good response.
So I will say that Blueprint 2 by Jay-Z was a much better response than Super Ugly. And this is from my prior comment. I think that was a good response to Last Real Nigga Alive, and an actual a good follow up for Ether, even though at that point after Ether the battle was essentially over, but still, I do like Blueprint 2, because then after Blueprint 2, pretty much they don't go at each other's necks at all anymore, and then eventually they squash the beef. But I do think that Blueprint 2 was in better taste. And I remember the one J line where he says, "My mama can't stop you now." Like, it's like if y'all decide to go another round, like this time I'm not gonna hold back. But at that point, it's like, bro, yeah, the damage already been done. Your mom made you apologize. It's over with.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Your mom is involved anyway.
Oddly enough, Whitey's Revenge. And let me just say this, y'all. For the longest time, I did not even know that Eminem and Everlast had beef. I did not know that was a battle that had even existed. Of all the people that Eminem has gone at and has gone at him, I had no idea that him and Everlast went at each other. That was a surprise to me when I found that out. And I'm like, oh shit. So Whitey's Revenge, granted, it's not like the greatest diss song of all time, but Everlast held his own against Eminem until Eminem dropped Quitter. Then it's just like, yeah, bro, this shit done with. But it's still, it was a good response, and I do like it.
Thanks. I mean, I will say, what's that shit? I just had it, and then I fucking moved on from it, and then I forgot it. Oh, Back Down by 50 Cent.
Yes.
That was a good response to Ja Rule coming at him after, because, I mean, in reality, How to Rob is 50 Cent just trolling and having fun. You know what I'm saying? He's not really talking about robbing you niggas. And a lot of niggas dissed that nigga, which was cool. I mean, I think that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get attention. And, you know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted. And then, of course, Ja Rule is on top of the world at that time. And he dissing. Then Wankster comes out. You know what I'm saying? He talking about Ja Rule. Ja Rule disses him again with, I can't remember what Ja Rule did. What came after Wankster. But then the actual album rollout comes out, and then Back Down is on there. And it's like, yo. And it's disrespectful as fuck. So
it was, man. There's a lot of songs that between 50 and Ja and Eminem and Ja, like this, that whole 2002 to 2004, I'm gonna say those whole 2 years, it's just like, yo, there's so many disses to each other. Like it's kind of hard to cover them all. Yeah. Moving on. Name a diss track that was so vile it had you questioning life.
Beat the Grams.
Yep. I knew it was coming, bro.
The very last verses was really dark when he started going, you lied about something. You lied. You know, when he kept doing that, I was like in the car, I was shivering a little bit. I was like, yo, he really killing it. He killing that thing. Meet the Ground was vile. Like,
bro, I just remember we were literally on Shogo High. We were talking about this, and then it came out in real time. We was like, oh shit, Kendrick responded. And literally after the song played, I'm sitting there like, holy shit, bro. Why did that shit feel like a horror film?
Bro, yeah, that shit was quiet as hell. Like,
yeah.
It was like after I played it, I just got quiet. I was like, yo.
Man. Meet the Grams as a diss track. I don't care what nobody say. Listen, it's one of the spookiest diss tracks ever. And the reason why it doesn't have a lot of quote unquote replay value is not because it's a bad diss, alleged daughter aside. It's just because it's so fucking scary. You just like, yo, bro, like, I feel like I'm the one getting attacked, and I didn't even diss the nigga. Like,
bro, he's talking to your daddy, your mama, your son. Like, bro, it's really disrespectful, bro.
Very.
Like, I'm not lying. Like, that beef would have been over. I'd have been like, bro, we have to see each other, bro. Like,
yeah, at that
like,
point,
come on, bro. Like, my son got to go to school in a couple years, and
That part is really crazy because I'm just like, yo, if Adonis, grows up and goes to high school and niggas discover this beef, how will he react when niggas come up to him and be like, "Dear Adonis"?
Yeah, like, bro. He gonna have to fight every day.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Oh man. All right. Circling back to Eminem and Benzino, nail in the coffin, bro. That shit was so disrespectful.
Super disrespectful.
Bruh, I'm sitting here like this nigga. I'm like, yo, this nigga Benzino. Eminem really didn't have to waste that much ammo on Benzino, but this nigga really wanted to disrespect that man, and he absolutely destroyed him with that. I'm like, yep, this shit is raps, bro. Just wrap it up. It's over.
1985. By J. Cole, just a little pump.
Yep.
In 5 years, you're gonna be on Love and Hip Hop, like, and it aged well.
It aged beautifully. That
aged very well. It aged very well.
Yes.
Like, that's one that I felt like was super disrespectful. He just basically was like, he really quote unquote sunned him, like, nigga, come here, little man, let me talk to him. Like, it was just like, dog, this is disrespectful as fuck. And it wasn't even like he was really going hard. He just was at that nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, we did we talked about it earlier, but Stomp with Ludacris, just you worth a couple $100,000 and I'm worth millions. The shit not legit, so please stay off the TIP of my dick. He didn't even just say your name; he spelled it. I'm like, yo, this nasty work, bro. And then, I mean, on that same thing, me getting stomped out, that's ludicrous. I was like, yeah, they really going at it. But then, which I don't feel like it's direct, but I feel like that was at TI too. I think War with God was TI diss, because Watch What You Say to Me, I feel like it was a subliminal to Ludacris. And then War with God was a subliminal to TI, because they never said each other's name. But the energy was definitely, you could kind of feel who these was about. So yeah, I felt like that was one. Disrespectful comment to Drake. You're not getting shit wet. You Canada dry. That was kind of fucked up too. Because low key, he just was disrespectful with it. I liked Drake's verse. Once again, I like Drake on Stacey Keenan. It gets to me when the guys start acting like the broads. Like, once again, Drake has some good rebuttals. It's just, you're just out of your league. You're trying to be too cool with it. Like, nigga, you gotta be disrespectful. You need to be disrespectful. Your flow's not angry enough. And you're just trying to be too smooth with it. You need to be angry, vulgar, and disrespectful. That's how rap beef works.
Nah, for sure. For sure. I'm gonna go back to the 90s, man. The Quiet Storm remix, obviously, Mobb Deep and Lil Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, Lil Kim came on there and took shots directly at Foxy, and it was just like that song actually led to some shootouts. Like, that shit got violent. So yeah, that I gotta name that song, because that is, everybody forgets like the original Quiet Storm, because that nigga Prodigy, he actually blacked on that song. Like, he literally just wrote the entire song himself, and all you hear is like Havoc really just making, he produced it and shit, obviously, and did the chorus. But yeah, Prodigy blacked on the song, but everybody forgets it because Lil Kim came on there and just literally was like, hey, I'm gonna lead y'all some following shit. And it's like, oh, that's how we coming? Yeah. Is disrespectful. I will say a lot of people don't maybe know this, because obviously you got to be a real deep Bone Thugs and Harmony fan, but You Ain't Bone, that shit was, they was taking mad shots at 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
And we all know like the history of the beef between them, but like that shit was like, it was, yeah, damn near vile. Like, this nigga Lazy Poe was literally talking about he was going to paint on the day that I spot him, toss him in the trunk of the caddy on the way to the rodeo, killing all carbon copies. It was like, no, this nigga talking about like killing people and throwing their bodies in the trunk. Like them niggas went at it.
Speaking of that shit, like Gucci Mane telling Jeezy, dig your homeboy up. That nigga can't say shit. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, Jesus Christ.
The truth, man. This is just the truth. I'm like, yeah, Gucci really went at that nigga, bro. That shit was so disrespectful, and I loved every second of it. Smoking on Boogie Loc tonight. I always remember that battle, man. I will always remember that verse because of I don't remember the song because of that, but I will always remember that verses because of those lines and because he was like, oh, Jeezy let him play the truth. Oh shit, this shit about to get. I thought this shit was gonna get violent.
Yeah, bro. I thought it was gonna get wild.
I was literally like, yo, these niggas are they about to fight? Are we really about to have our first fight in the verses because of this shit? But nah, it ended up being oddly enough the Bone Thugs and the 3-6 Mafia joint where we finally got our first fight.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because even Lazy Bone was just like, man, why don't we wait till we almost 50 to start fighting, bro? And it's like,
and another one where I felt like it was a fight, even though they weren't dissing each other, when Jewels bumped Jadakiss, and Jadakiss ripped that nigga bandana off and threw it on the ground. I was like, hey, this is about to get ugly. I was like, these niggas is finna have a fight. I was like, but I feel like I think Jewels kind of was feeling himself a little bit because I was like, I don't think you remember. like D Block is not gonna let you do that shit. Like they don't give a fuck about none of that other shit, like gang banging and none of that shit. They don't care. I was all like, so you trying to do that and thinking you was just gonna get away with it, and that nigga ripped that nigga bandana off his head and threw it on the ground. I was like, oh, they're gonna fight right there. That's what I was like, they should fight right there, but it didn't end up going, which is kind of.
I got one more like super disrespectful song, and the lyrics themselves are not as disrespectful, but the actions were so vile. It was like, damn. And I'm talking about T.I.'s "What's Up, What's Happening."
I was just about to say, what kind of nigga is you? Got a leprechaun boots and a leprechaun. I was just about to say that one as my next one, but go ahead.
And the fact that this nigga pulled up in his hood,
and got punched in the face though. You can't do that. Yeah, you can't be in Cloverfield. Like I wouldn't go to Cloverfield. What are you doing, brother?
Nigga T.I. was bold. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. But
he was wilding for that though. But
I had right. I had to talk about that one because I just remember like, yo, that shit was crazy.
Man, that nigga was in that nigga hood talking about y'all seen Flip. And I was like, yeah. That was all like, I get it. You gangster, but it's gangsters everywhere. Yep. you can't do that. You can't do that, brother.
Nope.
But that shit was funny. What's that was happening? I forgot about it. Because I was just about to bring up the leprechaun boots.
All right. To wrap this up, we got a couple more. So of course, at the end of the day, what is your favorite or some of your favorite diss tracks of all time?
Favorite one, Checkmate.
Yep.
Crash Dummy by Joey Badass. I play that one a lot actually. Like I still play that one. Not Like Us, of course. Yep. I think that's everybody's favorite diss track. Hit 'Em Up.
Yep.
I even like the because you was talking about, or we haven't got to the troll question yet, so I'll save that one for the troll question. Back to back, I really like back to back. But yeah, for right now, like Crash Dummy might be one of my favorite diss tracks. It's just because it's like Joey really shows some versatility, some style on there, and it kind of was frustrating because like his bundle of disses that he dropped before the album was way better than the album. He didn't have no energy on that album. I don't know what was going on. Because his last two albums I really liked. And America KKK or whatever.
Yeah, America's one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That one and then 1999, of course. Those are like great albums. But this album just was flat. I just don't understand why you wouldn't. Even when he came out with the BKA,
Mm-hmm.
the joint that he performed on Jimmy Kimmel and stuff like that. That song had a bunch of energy, style, lyrics and stuff like that. And he didn't even put that on the album. So that's just a song that's just out there floating. It's not really, I mean, it is a little bit of a diss, kind of, because he just was like, who y'all thought y'all was playing with type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't put it on the album. And between that and Crash Dummy, the town, My Town, and all that stuff, like that energy, that Joey was what I was expecting to get on the album, and he didn't have that energy at all.
Did not do it, bro. And that's why that album does not make my top 25. It didn't even make my honorable mentions. I'm just like, man, I'm just so disappointed with this.
Super disappointed, bro.
Yeah.
Canceled the tour and everything.
Mm-hmm. As far as my favorites, The Bitch in You, that's definitely one of my favorites. Not Like Us, as you said, is everybody's favorite. I mean, unless you're a Drake fan, obviously it's your least favorite.
And then you brought up Superman. I completely forgot that was a diss. So Superman is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Superman was definitely one of my favorites. Even though, again, some of the lyrics have not aged well on this one, Ether is still literally one of my favorite tracks of all time, just because at this point now they've coined the term, like, when you get dissed so bad you've got ethered. It's literally a thing now. So and at that point, you know, for the time that it was released, it was thorough belt to ass situation. Like Nas said, all right, you came with Takeover, didn't say anything for months, and then December comes around and it's just like, oh shit. Yeah. Absolute masterclass in BTA. I will say I've already said Superman, Nail in the Coffin. Also, some words, you got to remember this, you know, that during the time certain words were acceptable, but even still, I just think that was a thorough get Benzino the fuck out of here. The nigga shouldn't even be rapping. I obviously hit him up. This one, I'll even throw in Who Shot You, because, you know, whether we agree on whether it's an actual diss towards this Tupac or not, I think it's still an important song in that beef. So I gotta throw it in there too. And I know that you said that it was a good response. I like Back Down. I thought Back Down was one of my top 50 Cent disses. I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, you know, I enjoy that more, and again, enjoy it more than I did Piggyback. I think Piggyback at that point, I'm like, all right, 50, you doing too much. And
he was feeling himself too much too.
Yeah, he was at that point. And then, as you said, this nigga Jadakiss came with Checkmate, and it's like, hey, leave that nigga alone. So I gotta throw Checkmate up there as well. I know I had some more, but I definitely wanted to keep it brief. I think that those are definitely some of the story of Adidon. Still to this day, one of the most jaw-dropping diss tracks I had ever heard at that time. It was like, yeah, I gotta put it up there, even if it's not the most like lyrically the strongest diss track. Is just the fact that the way that it dropped, and the fact that it has so much information. You're just like, yo, this. And then what was really the disrespectful part is the fact that this nigga Pusha went at 40. Like, hey, I don't care if this nigga's sick or not. I'm going at this nigga.
Yeah.
So,
and Officer Down, Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks, yes. Oh,
miss Lloyd, man.
Boy,
that man. The victory freestyle. That nigga. Yeah, Lloyd was going crazy.
Yes. Also, it's not necessarily a diss track to a rapper, but obviously it's a diss track to a person. FDT, fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah,
that's on the top of my list.
Georgia Bush
by Weezy. Yeah, yes,
that was actually fire too.
Absolutely. So, those are just some of our favorite diss tracks. While I'm thinking about it, because I said the Second Round Knockout was one of the greatest diss tracks of all time, but it had some questionable lines on there. I cannot go without saying that the Ripper Strikes Back, because LL Cool J was like, all right, we going that way, so he dropped that song. He dropped another diss track too, but I love the Ripper Strikes Back because that nigga, he went at Cannabis.
Yeah, fact.
So I will throw that up there as well. All right. We got a couple more. Name your favorite battle of all time.
Oh, favorite battle of all time. Let's not do low hanging fruits. I will say my favorite battle will be either Kiss and Beans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kiss and Beans. I actually really enjoyed Tory Lanez and Jordan Lucas. I enjoyed their back and forth. I thought that they really went hard at each other. They were responding very fast. Like I believe Joyner responded with Liddy freestyle, like over Tory's beat, and Tory responded back 2 hours later. And I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So I really enjoyed the Jordan Lucas, Tory Lanez back and forth. I enjoyed, I mean, of course, like I said, Kendrick and Drake was great.
Yep.
Joey Badass versus the West Coast was very good.
Mm-hmm.
That was very fun. I enjoyed that last year. Yeah, I think those. I like the Common in the West Coast too.
Yep.
That was pretty good. I actually Game and Joe Budden had a really good back and forth.
They did. They
had a real good back and forth. Along with Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden and Eminem all getting in the mix and doing their thing. They had a nice little back and forth as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I don't want to do too many.
For sure.
But I feel like those were good.
Mm-hmm. As far as we said, don't want to do like low hanging fruit, but I think as far as like the ones that are not talked about a lot, Common versus West Side Connection. Yeah. I think that was a good little battle. What else is on my mind? You said Kiss and Beans already. So I guess for me, my favorite of all time still, even though Kendrick and Drake was absolutely fantastic, especially if you're a Kendrick fan, with me being a Kendrick fan. But I will say that for me, Nas and Jay are probably still at the top of my list as far as like, the best back and forths. I still think that you got two of the top MCs of all time, like going at each other.
Which is that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's really how it is. It's that's how it's supposed to be, man.
Either make great music together, or if y'all start beefing, settle this shit. Like, I'm so disappointed in Cole. But anyway, go ahead.
Nah, for sure, man. For sure, it be like that. I gotta say, there was one. I knew that there was gonna be one that I missed as far as like underrated diss tracks. Drop a gem on them. Mobb Deep, man. I was like, there was an underrated track I'm missing, and it was that one. Because they went at they were not afraid to go at Pac, even though I think I don't know if it was released like right before he passed, but it was still.
Yeah, I mean it had to be before, because he talked about he said them niggas too on Hit 'Em Up.
Hit 'Em Up, yeah. Like, don't worry, y'all got sickle cell, so it was they had to respond.
Yeah,
it had a great response, man. But at that point, once he died, it was kind of like, okay, yeah.
You don't do what GoldLink did.
Oh,
talk about somebody after they done died. That's crazy.
Exactly. And then, of course, I'll have to say that the Bridge Wars will always be a top tier battle with Boogie Down Productions versus MC Shan and all the other and Marley Marl and all of Queensbridge. That was still to this day one of the most legendary back and forths in hip hop. So if you don't know about that history, definitely please be sure that y'all look that up, because that is to me, one of the best battles. And of course, you know, we can always say like Tupac and Biggie and whatnot, whatever. But still, I think that for me, the thing that really started it all were the Bridge Wars. So with that,
because I know you said the best troll stuff. That 50 Cent where he was trolling the game and he was using the game. He was talking like rapping like the game for a verse. That shit was funny. Mm-hmm. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah. Also going back to the 50 and the 50 Cent and Ja Rule beef, or in this case, 50 and Murder Inc. beef. I forgot the actual name of the song, but it just starts off with, I smell something. You smell something? I smell pussy. Is that you heard? It was like, and then at the end of the song, this nigga 50 is just like, man, fuck Ja Rule, fuck her, Gotti, fuck all y'all Murder Inc. niggas, but not you, Ashanti, baby. Now you can get all this love right here. That shit had me dying.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Troll songs are some of the best. And I had included that Hail Mary 03 was like one of my favorite like troll rap songs, because yeah, it's not the best, but I'm just sitting here like, damn, these niggas was not playing around. They were not only dissing you, they were also joning you. Like they was frying your ass. That if you had any of the Shady Records versus the World mixtapes, man, like it's Shady Records versus the World 3, Aftermath versus Murder Inc. That whole entire mixtape was just funny and hilarious. Like these niggas literally made commercials making fun of Ja Rule. Like if I go back and listen to Ja Rule Duets 2 and Ja Rule Duets 3, like listen to those skits. These niggas were they just did not care.
The gay dude on the joint, Jeffrey Atkins.
I'm back down. Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
I got a pink belt. This is like, oh, these niggas, they do not give a fuck, man. The last question that I had added was, of course, name a battle that you didn't even know existed. And for me, I said Eminem and Everlast. I had no idea that they went at each other until literally like a couple weeks ago. I was flabbergasted. I'm like, wait, these niggas was beefing? Damn. I mean, granted, I was 9, but yeah, and I knew Eminem had problems with a lot of people. Like he had problems with I mean, who did Eminem not have problems with?
Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst, everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, I was about to say like Limp Bizkit. I didn't realize that the Limp Bizkit beef would actually had spawned off of the Everlast beef, because he actually gave them niggas props. But somebody on Limp Bizkit, I don't know if it was Fred Durst or anything, but he was like, yeah, if Everlast ever meets him in the street, like Everlast will whoop his ass. And M took offense to that. He's like, nigga, well, he didn't say nigga, obviously, but he was like, I gave y'all props. And y'all came at me. All right, fuck all this shit.
But when Eminem and Nelly was going back and forth.
Yep. They it.
I was surprised at that. Michael Jackson buying that nigga fucking Masters was disgusting. Like that shit was disgusting. Like, yeah. It was like, bro, you played out of your tax bracket that time.
Exactly.
That nigga he brought that nigga Masters, and he was like, now if you diss me, I get paid off of it. Mm-hmm. It was like, yo, that's crazy. I didn't know about until last year when they squashed the beef was Lupe Fiasco and Kid Cudi. I had no idea that they were even having major problems and stuff like that. And Lupe apparently was killing that nigga a lot. I had no idea that they had problems. And then when they squashed the beef, I remember somebody had on Twitter, they was like, I take back all the tweets I said about Lupe Fiasco. And then Lupe Fiasco quote retweeted. He said, one condition of our beef was I got to beat one of his fans' ass. So line it up, buddy. that shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious. But yeah, him and Lupe had him and Royce the 5'9", him and Joe Budden, and then him and Kid Cudi were all beefs. And I honestly and truthfully, even though he don't have the commercial success, but I would have loved to see him and Kendrick. That would have been great lyricism.
Honestly, yeah, like people keep teasing it and whatnot, but I'm just like, I definitely I do want to see that, if it eventually happens. Maybe just not even for the whatever they got going on. I just want to see two MCs just go at it. Like,
yeah, where it's not like necessarily like niggas got dirt on each other. You niggas just got to rap. That's what I was excited about with him and J. Cole. I was like, I don't think neither one of them are gonna take it to dirt. You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna rap. And I just was like, I just want to see what's gonna happen. But like I think it was Punch that had said, "Be careful, we wolves out here" on Lupe Fiasco joint. And I think it was not even 2 minutes later, Lupe Fiasco responded with what's a wolf to a third house. And I was like, bro, I said, if he responded that fast on a quote retreat, I don't want to see him with a pen. Yeah, I don't want to see this nigga with a pen, bro. I was like, because that was like 2 minutes later, and you said you was a wolf, and he said, "What's a wolf to a third house?" I was like, bro, you might want to. I was like, you might want to let Kendrick handle this, and y'all just shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would have loved to see something like that. But trying to think. What did we say? What was we talking about? Who we wanted? Oh, that we didn't know had beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are one. When the Game and Joe Budden went at each other, I didn't know for a while, and I went back and listened to it, and I didn't even know Joe Budden was the one that exposed the Game first about the change of heart shit.
Yeah, I do. I remember that part, and I knew that they had problems. I didn't know how deep it went, but yeah,
I didn't know he was the first one to pull that shit out, and I was like, bro, how did he even find that? like, how did you find that episode of Change of Heart and be like, this is the Game and shit?
Yeah, it's crazy, and that goes back to sometimes it just depends on the right messenger. A lot of people will brush off what Joe got to say because it's like it's Joe Budden, but then you revisit certain things and you're just like, wait a minute, Joe already said this. And especially when people start acting out of character, you're just like, damn, dog. This nigga Joe was right about the Game the whole time. Oh, man,
it's so crazy, but it's just wrong messenger, like you said.
Yeah. It right message, wrong messenger. It happens all the time in life.
Pump It Up hurt his career. In my opinion.
It really did.
It's his biggest hit, but it's like nobody wanted to hear lyricism out of him because they thought that they thought they was just gonna get a bunch of Pump It Up every fucking time. He lyrically is a better artist than that, but he went the commercial route, and that commercial people don't want to hear lyrics. Straight up like that.
Well, it is what it is, man. With that, that's really all that I got. Of course, we could talk about this subject for hours, but for the sake of brevity and for the sake of time, we are going to cut it off from there. I definitely hope that you enjoyed this episode talking about our favorite diss tracks and some of our least favorite diss tracks. Of course, as always, as you're watching this episode, or if you're watching some of these shorts or watching some of these clips, let us know, of course, what some of your favorite diss tracks are and some of your least favorite diss tracks are. And let us know if there were any that we did not cover. We might have thought about some or had some in the tuck, and we just didn't get a chance or the time to explain or talk about them. So please be sure that you do so in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on this episode. With that, any new business highlights, any new black businesses you want to share, Scuba Steve, or anything that you want to plug?
Oh no, I don't got nothing, man. If we're gonna plug anything, we'll plug Wake the Dead.
Wake the Dead.
Make sure you guys pull up that on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. Order the first volume. Other than that, man, I don't got nothing.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna do the rundown real quick for those who have not tuned in. Obviously, with the rundown, we try to give a highlight and a shout out to all of the podcasts, all of the authors, content creators, artists, and business owners who have, of course, supported this podcast in some form or fashion. So with that, let's go down the list real quick so we can go ahead and sign off. Big shout out, of course, once again to Inside the Mind of a Blurred. Again, with my schedule and my work schedule, I haven't been on an episode lately, and I've been kind of pissed, but work is work. So I cannot wait to, get back with the gang and get on one of these episodes again. But, that time will come. Big shout out to Mike Check Waifu, one of the biggest seasonal anime podcasts that's out there. Shout out to the boys, Polo and Tell. And of course, I do want to give a huge shout out to the Brother X and the Culture Scientists of Truth and Transparency podcast. They haven't dropped any episodes in a while, and they've made this announcement on Instagram. The Culture Scientists and Brother X are having a little one. So congratulations on the baby, you two.
Congrats.
I cannot wait to meet. I guess they're gonna name him Malcolm Jr. I don't know, but either way, I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to hang out with Malcolm again. It's been a minute, man, since we chilled. And I'm looking forward to that. And I know that y'all are looking forward to being parents. I cannot wait. So big shout out to y'all. Big shout out, of course, to Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Vash, Geek Set Podcast, Anime Junkies 3 Weaves in the podcast, Those Anime Girls, and of course, big shout out to Black Geek Energy. For our Black authors, big shout out to K. Renee, and also big shout out to Elena Graham. For the content creators, Off Black Mag with Aaron, big shout out to Cerberus Entertainment, to our streamers, Tatted Poodle and the Geeky Gamer, and of course the Corner 5, Simone, Courtney 5, Chris, and Sham. Big shout out to Shelby, aka Simply Janine, with Simply Baked and Rose Less Traveled. Big shout out to Strange Keith, as always, with Idols to Icons. And of course, big shout out to Scuba Steve over here and Alpha with Blur Mind Productions. Also, big shout out to another content creator, Carabits. Again, love you, Tyler. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about our Black artists. Shout out to NASA, Scoozy, Jack Union, Phil.me, Ellis Quinn, RJ Stackhouse, Quarter, Tyrone Leak Jr., who shout out to my boy Tyrone Leak, man. He just got engaged. So big shout out to him as well, man. I know you were man, this the sheep. Yes, my boy, man. I'm finally glad that out of all my friend groups in the drumline and all my brothers in the drumline, man, another one of us, is finally tying the knot. I was waiting. I was like, man, who gonna be the next? And it's Tyrone. So big shout out to you, Leak, man. Big shout out, of course, to our realist show, Zach Hines with Fortresses. Fortresses are doing some very big things in the 757 community. Shout out to Elena once again, Zaynab, and of course Imogen. And then for our Black business shout outs, already paid by Dre, Fresheners, Righteous Minds by Timo, Cream Cosmetics by Naima. Big shout out to Studio Maho with Pat Yin. Big shout out to She Designs 2 with Aaron. H4 Creative with Zenobia, Real Estate Stone by Meredith, Soul by Bell by Mariah, and Scrappy Sentiment by Sappy. With that, that's all we have for today. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Khaotic Kulture Podcast on your favorite DSP. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure that you like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Once again, you can follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/Khaotic Kulture Pod to get any bonus content and to get this episode for early. You can also, of course, follow our Facebook page at Khaotic Kulture Podcast. You can follow us on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok at Khaotic Kulture Pod. You can follow us on Twitter if you so desire to, aka X, whatever, at Khaotic Kulture 1, and you can follow us on Blue Sky at chaoticculture.bsky.social. Follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Scuba Steve at Scuba Steve 1428 on all social media. You can follow Sappy at Scratch14 on all social media. And of course, you can follow Law at L.JR_96 on Instagram and Law96_ on Twitter. With that, I think that's it, man. I hope that everyone has had a great start to the new year. I know that there's been some things going on politically that I do want to talk about, but we got to save that for another episode. Please be sure that, of course, you protect your heart, protect your mind, and protect your spirit from any negative energy that is out here in this world. Again, we got, so please be sure that you protect each other as well. This has been another episode of the Khaotic Kulture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe. God is love. We out of here. Deuces.
So what's the word?
You are now tuned in to the Khaotic Kulture Podcast. And